আজকে আমরা 2022-এর CC11 পেপারটা কমপ্লিট করব। 2020 এবং 2021 দুটো ইয়ারেরই কোনো শর্ট কোশ্চেন নেই, তাই আমরা 2022টাই শুরু করব 19-এর পর। ফার্স্ট প্রশ্নটা দেখো, ইন অ্যাডভাইস টু উইমেন হোয়াট ডাজ দ্য স্টেয়ার অফ পারপিচুয়াল সারপ্রাইজ টিচ? In Advice to Women by Eunice D'Souza, the stare of perpetual surprise teaches women to maintain emotional detachment and accept the unpredictability of relationships. Much like a cat's indifferent and curious gaze, it symbolizes observing without overreacting or becoming overly involved. Next প্রশ্ন, what do oceans and prayer mean in I Cannot Live With You? In Emily Dickinson's I Cannot Live With You, oceans symbolize the vast, insurmountable distance between the speaker and her lover, representing separation and isolation. Prayer symbolizes spiritual connection, contrasting with the physical distance, but it also reflects the barriers of societal and religious constraints that prevent their union. Third প্রশ্ন, how is the theme of loneliness developed in Sylvia Plath's Daddy? Loneliness যে একাকিত্ব, সেটা সিলভিয়া প্লাথের ড্যাডি কবিতাতে সেই থিমটা কিভাবে ডেভেলপ করেছে? In Sylvia Plath's Daddy, the theme of loneliness is developed through the speaker's feelings of abandonment and unresolved grief over her father's death. She portrays him as an oppressive, godlike figure whose absence leaves a void in her life. The speaker's failed relationships, including her marriage, mirror her longing for connection and her inability to escape the shadow of her father's influence. This emotional isolation deepens her sense of loneliness and anger. Fourth প্রশ্ন দেখো, in Sylvia Plath's Daddy, what effect does the use of daddy instead of father have on the poem? The use of daddy instead of father in Sylvia Plath's Daddy creates a tone of childlike intimacy mixed with irony and bitterness. It highlights the speaker's unresolved feelings of dependence, love, and resentment towards her father. The informal, almost playful term contrasts sharply with the dark themes of the poem, intensifying its emotional impact and underlining the complex, conflicted relationship between the speaker and her father. Why is the picture of Christ referred to in the poem Bequest? In Eunice D'Souza's Bequest, the picture of Christ is referred to as a symbol of the moral and societal expectations imposed on the speaker. It represents the guilt, sacrifice, and pressure to conform to traditional roles. Particularly for women, the speaker reflects on these expectations and questions them as she seeks personal freedom and self-fulfillment. What has been alluded to in the opening lines of Bequest? In the opening lines of Eunice D'Souza's Bequest, the poet alludes to societal and familial expectations imposed on women, such as being obedient, unquestioning, and conforming to traditional roles. These expectations are subtly criticized as the speaker reflects on her desire for independence and self-assertion. What has the speaker finished, and how in I Am Wife I Have Finished That? In Emily Dickinson's I Am Wife I Have Finished That, the speaker has finished the phase of being a single independent woman. She has transitioned into the role of a wife, which society views as a more proper and elevated status. This shift implies a loss of personal freedom and individuality, as the speaker conforms to the traditional expectations of marriage. In Mahashweta Devi's short story, what was the name of Draupadi's husband? In Mahashweta Devi's short story Draupadi, Draupadi's husband's name is Dulnamaji. What was the role of Arjan Singh in Mahashweta Devi's Draupadi? In Mahashweta Devi's Draupadi, Arjan Singh is the army officer responsible for capturing Draupadi and her husband Dulnamaji. He plays a significant role in enforcing state oppression as he leads the operation to suppress the rebels and later oversees Draupadi's brutal interrogation and humiliation. Why was Senanayak afraid of his unarmed target? In Mahashweta Devi's Draupadi, Senanayak is afraid of his unarmed target, Draupadi, because of her fearless defiance despite her vulnerability. After being stripped and humiliated, Draupadi refuses to show shame or submission, confronting Senanayak with her dignity and resistance. Her unbroken spirit challenges his authority and the oppressive system he represents, leaving him unnerved. What does the pear tree symbolize in Catherine Mansfield's Bliss? In Catherine Mansfield's Bliss, the pear tree symbolizes Bertha Young's idealized, blissful life. At the beginning of the story, the tree is in full bloom, representing her happiness, contentment, and sense of harmony in her marriage. However, as the story progresses and Bertha uncovers the truth about her husband's infidelity, the pear tree's image shifts, symbolizing the fragility of her illusions and the sudden disruption of her perfect world. এই পিয়াট্রি সিম্বলটা কিন্তু খুবই গুরুত্বপূর্ণ। এটা 5 মার্কসের ক্ষেত্রেও কিন্তু আসতে পারে যে পিয়াট্রিটা এই ব্লিস গল্পে কি সিম্বলাইজ করছে। কমেন্ট অন দ্য পোর্ট্রেয়াল অফ ম্যারেজ ইন ব্লিস। ইন ক্যাথরিন ম্যানসফিল্ডস Bliss, marriage is portrayed as an illusion of happiness. Bertha Young believes her marriage to Harry is perfect, representing bliss and harmony. However, as the story unfolds, it becomes clear that this is a facade. Harry's infidelity with Bertha's close friend Miss Fulton reveals the betrayal and emotional distance in their relationship. The story critiques the idealization of marriage and exposes the hidden complexities and disappointments beneath the surface of seemingly perfect unions. এই কিছু কিছু প্রশ্ন রয়েছে 2 মার্কসের ক্ষেত্রে যেগুলো 5 মার্কসের জন্যই ভালো। 2 মার্কসের ক্ষেত্রে কমেন্ট অথবা কোনো লাইনকে প্যারাফ্রেজ করা, আবার কোনো টাইটেল সেটা সিগনিফাই কী করছে সেইগুলোর জন্য 5 মার্কসই ঠিক আছে। 2 মার্কসের জন্য ওই 2 মার্কসের মতোই তোমাকে লিখতে হবে, 5 মার্কসের মতন অতটা বড়ও লিখতে পারবে না, তাই সেটা সংক্ষেপে করে লেখাটা একটুখানি কঠিনই আছে। নেক্সট প্রশ্ন দেখো, হোয়াট ডাজ দ্য পেপার সিম্বলাইজ ইন দ্য ইয়েলো ওয়ালপেপার? ইয়েলো ওয়ালপেপারে এই পেপারটা কী সিম্বলাইজ করছে? In the yellow wallpaper itself symbolizes the speaker's mental deterioration and oppression. The intricate, chaotic pattern represents her entrapment within the confines of societal expectations and her forced isolation due to the rest cure. As the speaker becomes more obsessed with the wallpaper, it reflects her growing sense of powerlessness and her struggle to break free from the restrictions placed on her by her husband and society. Ultimately, the wallpaper becomes a symbol of a need for self-expression and escape from repression. ব্লিস গল্পে যেমন পিয়ার ট্রিটা বার্থার জীবনে একটা গুরুত্বপূর্ণ ভূমিকা পালন করছে, তেমনি এখানে ইয়েলো ওয়ালপেপারেও এই যে মেয়েটা আছে তার জীবনেও কিন্তু এই ওয়ালপেপারটা সেটাও একটা গুরুত্বপূর্ণ সিম্বল হিসেবে কাজ করছে। হোয়াট ইজ দ্য ইম্পর্টেন্স অফ দ্য নার্স ইন দ্য ইয়েলো ওয়ালপেপার? In the yellow wallpaper, the nurse plays a minor but significant role in reinforcing the speaker's isolation. She is part of the household staff attending to the speaker's physical needs, but her presence underscores the speaker's powerlessness. The nurse's role reflects the larger theme of the speaker's confinement and her lack of agency, as she is treated as fragile and incapable of making decisions for herself. The nurse is a symbol of the medical and social systems that infantilize and suppress the speaker's autonomy. What are the differences between the wallpaper during the day and the wallpaper at night in the YOLO wallpaper? In the YOLO wallpaper, the wallpaper appears differently during the day and at night. During the day, the wallpaper's chaotic, oppressive pattern seems merely unattractive, and the speaker is mostly focused on its color and design. However, at night, the wallpaper becomes much more disturbing. The speaker begins to see a woman trapped within the wallpaper, struggling to escape. The darkness intensifies her obsession, and the wallpaper transforms into a symbol of her own mental entrapment. The shift from day to night reflects her growing descent into madness. তাহলে এই ইয়ারেরটা কমপ্লিট হয়ে গেল।